been 7 months since I talked to you about top surgery. I posted my top surgery reveal video and I haven't really said that much since. We have so many things that we can get into, and you guys, first of all though, have shown me so much love from that video. Honestly, I've just been blown away. When I made that video, I almost wasn't even gonna release it. I didn't even expect it to do what it's done. I'm so honored to be able to make this next video for you. I feel like I owe you so many things to catch up over, now 9.5 months. That's where I'm at, 9.5 months post top surgery right now. So a lot to catch up on. Healing, have some throwback clips from, when I was going through that, healing the nipple, scar treatment. What's the timeline looking like for, honestly, us Black trans folks out there, talking about fitness, like what is it like to work out if you're a parent or you're around kids at all, day-to-day life, getting into dysphoria, even though you're now living your alignment, your truth and all that. How has that affected dysphoria, right? And then you guys have also asked about cost. So I'm gonna give you a timeline based on my experience. Obviously everybody is their own, but this is a better look into what happens when you're Black. Before we do that though, a quick overview of my surgery. My surgery was December 17th, 2019. I had double incision, so it started from armpits and goes all the way to the middle, joins in the middle. Free nipple grafts. I went to the Gender Confirmation Center in San Francisco. My surgeon was Dr. Scott Mosser, and today we actually just dropped something over on their Instagram. They do amazing things. Their team is just truly so thoughtful and careful with your whole gender affirmation experience. It's not even just that it's top surgery. It's like, this is a huge life moment. They recognize that moment and they just truly treat you so amazing. It's a great place to go. So if you're anywhere near the Bay Area, or if you want to travel there, people travel, I'm going to leave their information down below. And like I said, you can go to their Instagram for more information. Hope you guys stick around. I'm here for you. So let's get to it. So I know I have some extra footage there that you're going to see over the screen here. That kind of just shows me just stretching out, taking up the space, feeling comfortable, relaxing my shoulders, really becoming myself, feeling my body for what it is now and how much more muscle mass I have. This new scar, the top surgery, the haircut, how much more I'm presenting masculine now and how passing I am, and just how grateful and just taking everything in and understanding that, like, my God, that was such a huge thing for all of us that we carry on our chests. It's really an amazing way of life. It really is. I've enjoyed these 9.5 months, and honestly, it gets me emotional, as you know, and that's just what you see right here. I'm just taking in everything that this has been. So because I knew that I was going to basically have a keloid over my scar, I knew I was going to be treating my scar a lot. So what I started with is this, and what I showed you in my top surgery packing list video were these scar strips and scar gel. Once you can start. So I have some throwback footage that I'll put right after this. The first week when you have the nipples, you have the Aquaphor, and you're putting that on daily, and you're treating that per the surgeon. So I use this after you start that process. So once you're allowed to start this on your healing timeline, I started with both of these, and I did that consistently enough to see where that got me. Another thing that I used after that was this one. So right now I actually just got out of the shower and I just got done doing like my facial routine, putting on my minoxidil, like I talked about in my last video, how I grew my beard. Right after that, like I said in that video, I go to my top surgery routine. These are the two things that I'm using right now. Bio oil. I really like this because part of the healing with your scar is you spending time with it, really feeling it out, letting it become you, understanding that this is not a part of your body. It's all good that it's a part of your body because it was worth the sacrifice of this scar, and so I don't mind it. And I just rub on this, massaging the oil in, just, trying to break up that cartilage there, just help this flatten out, and just think about it flatten. And then just, put that intention into directly into the scar. It's probably one of my favorite moments, because then I'm in the mirror and I can just look up at myself and I can be like, wow, honestly, I can't believe this is me. And truly, like, that's how I feel. Like, this is amazing. Now, 9.5 months later, looking like this, you can say that this is me. I'm so grateful. It, of course, does a lot for you mentally in terms of what you expect, and not having to, you know, wear a bra, or not having to, like, yeah, just have a chest in general. Have this whole thing hanging in front of you that's like, what is going on here? Why are you here? But this top surgery was the biggest affirmation. You know, getting a haircut and doing these little things that help you present more in the way that you feel is right is one thing, but then to have something such like this is huge. So everybody that's going through a top surgery, that is having one right now, that has just had one in the past, shout out to you, man. Honestly, like, we're in this together. You're supporting me and I'm supporting you. It's an incredible thing that we're doing. I'm proud of you. Bio oil, that's what I do. Love on your scar. And because I have the nipples that are also raised, drains are right here, so I have that, it's kind of like puckered as well. So I'm kind of monitoring to see if I want to get a revision. I don't think I would, because it's not that big of a deal to me, honestly. I just think the bigger deal is getting this, but that is an option that's on the table. Another option that's on the table is getting the injection steroids to flatten this, and that is something I might really think about, but I'm gonna just see how it goes month by month, and then I'll make that decision. If I do that, then I'll bring you guys along. And then I get the scar liquid, and it's like nail polish. I start right there in the center because that's my problem area. I just really wish my chest wasn't as big as it was when I needed to get the top surgery, because then this wouldn't have happened. I don't like this part, I'm not gonna lie to you. This bothers me, and it really slowed me down in terms of like when I could get back to the gym, when I can start like a better range of motion. I start right there in the middle, and I just paint on the rest. And I do all this while I'm in the mirror, right after I've done a shower, right after I've done the facial routine. And I just spend time with myself and realize that being trans means doing these things, and I love doing it. Honestly, it makes me feel really good to know that like I can finally live as myself, and that even though I need to do this, it has all been worth it. Nipples is kind of easier. I just get some on there, a swoop. All right, I'm gonna let that sit, get my shirt back on, and then we're gonna move on to the next part, fitness. So y'all, one of my favorite things, you know, obviously I love that I can like not put a bra on, that I don't have to have my chest there, that, you know, I'm walking outside, my chest is flat, my shirt fit how I want it, you know, those obvious things. But one of the things that I love the most has been re-experiencing fitness. Now, fitness is something that's close, like near and dear to my heart, and my basketball is my soul, and I'll get more into that in the future videos. But I've always, you know, been into fitness. I played up to college basketball, and so fitness was always, you know, something that was part of my life. But now, like, re-experiencing fitness like this, it's a whole different world outside of the obvious. So jump roping, I usually don't even jump rope. Like, in fact, my junior college years, my coach was like, I just didn't jump rope. I did something other than that because of how bad my shin splits have always been. When you have a chest and it's bouncing around, jumping and doing jump ropes, running, you know, any of that kind of stuff, you hate, because it's just, your chest is just going everywhere, right? But the moment that I went to run outside and I was like, forget the shin splits, ran outside, there was no chest, jump rope, no chest, I was like, hey, this is amazing. You saw me, I did a fitness video before, right? I don't know how many months ago that was. I started getting back into it, and it's gonna be a slow process for those of us that had double incision joined in the middle. That really puts pressure. You start to realize as you do different things, how much pressure is put on the centerpiece of your chest. And so this is one of those key areas. And so I had to take more time off than I would have wanted from the gym, you know, and I would try to come back and I thought I was ready, and I was like, hey, let's do this fitness kickoff thing and whatever, but I wasn't ready. Also, you know, being a new dad, I thought I was gonna hold Sage right here, but she's asleep. Another layer of having a chest that was new as it was. Luckily I had top surgery before Sage came. That was huge because I had some months to heal before. I was 6 months post-op, by the time Sage was born. I'm sweating, sorry. Once she was about 1 or 2 months old, then she's like, you know, like pushing off, kicking, punching, pulling, scratching, everything that's going on up there, man. It doesn't feel good, but it's okay. It doesn't bother me enough to where, you know, I'm gonna complain, because that's just a blessing all the way around to have had top surgery and have my child. Being able to bond, you know, that energy transfer without that like barricade, man, it's flowing. She starts to make more feelings happen, because like honestly you're numb mostly still throughout this. So as you go through each month, you know, you start to get some of that sensitivity back, but really you're still numb in a lot of areas. Some points are more sensitive, like it kind of feels like you know, some tingling sensation in some areas. Numbness is still happening. It's lightening up. I can start to feel my chest in more areas than I could earlier on in the recovery time. But yeah, still, you know, working towards less numbness. I'm gonna take you through some of the things that I like, show you what it's like, you know, living life in your true body, working out. All the fitness stuff that's like overhead press, bench press, and it's interesting, but I love it, and it just makes you want to go harder on sculpting your body with this new battle wound on you. Let's see, dysphoria, how like all of this ties into where you're at with your dysphoria, because dysphoria doesn't ever truly like end. It kind of always just finds its way to another part of you. So whether that's your voice, or it's your chest before top surgery, or it's, for me, sometimes it goes in my hands or my nails, or just wherever it shows up. It always shows up unexpectedly. Something for dysphoria in terms of what the scar looks like and how that messes with your mind of like, hey, I'm excited that I had top surgery, but now I have this scar. What is it gonna be like? Do I feel okay with that scar? And that was one of the questions that I got from you all in terms of the scar. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, I wish I didn't have the scar in the middle, but I do. And that's just my reality. So I've learned to, like I said, through loving it and putting on the scar treatment, oils and liquid and all that stuff, that just helps me love it. Being in my body more just affirms that I was supposed to always be like this. That helps me accept the scar. And just knowing that like I went through something that's amazing, to say that like, hey, we had this surgery because we felt like it was that important. We knew it was that important. We had to do this. And so it's a reminder of that. It doesn't matter as much what the scar looks like at the end of the day, because it was about you shedding a weight and aligning yourself to your truth of how you feel like you should already have been presenting. And it doesn't really take away from that just because you have that scar. The first few months, when you first get your surgery, the scar is just gonna be flat. Like, it looks like there's nothing. That's how it is because you just got the surgery done. But once it starts to heal is when it starts to changing, and you'll feel like something's going wrong. That's how I always was feeling about it. I was like, oh my God, am I not doing something? Am I doing too much of something else? It's all these, regulations that you follow that your surgeon gave you. But as you go through that timeline, the scar starts to change, and the color of your nipple, the pigmentation, it looks like bubble gum. It does. They say that and they mean that. It looks bright. It's bright pink. So you're just slowly waiting for a pigmentation to come back. It slowly does. It starts to look like little islands, the raised scar. That's just part of the healing process. It's gotta look worse before it gets better. All right, so cost. I actually have the receipt right here in my pocket. I found this a couple months back, and you guys had asked me this question. Scott W. Mosser, 450 Sutter Street, San Francisco. This is my top surgery receipt. The day that I paid for it. Like I said, my surgery was double incision, joined in the middle, free nipple grafts with drains. At the time I had Cigna Healthcare, and they cover a portion of it. So I had already had the letter, like I can't even believe I'm recounting this right now because this is so long ago, from my therapist even. I had this letter that said, I needed this, and XYZ, trans care, whatever. By the time that I did that, I got the insurance involved and all those things. So it took off, I want to say like $3,000 and then the rest was left for me to cover. And you need to cover that up front, all paid in full at once before you get your surgery. That's a lot of money for anybody, and life is still happening. You have your normal expenses. Like, I totally get it. I honestly was on a payment plan for this. Like, I didn't pay this, I paid it all up front, but I'm making payments back on that. So there are things out there for you outside of your insurance. Depends on your surgeon, your surgery type, just either getting a loan or getting some help from someone, or even, like I said, payment plans through like things such as Care Credit, where you just apply for a certain amount, you get that, and then you make your monthly payments back to that amount until you pay it off. One other thing to note though in costs that I got hit with is that there's another cost once you are at the hospital. My insurance didn't cover those things. It's a lot to pay for, but for me, it wasn't even about monetary price as much as it was like how priceless of a moment it was. This was like a no-brainer. This had to happen, so pay for it as you go. All right, thank y'all for stopping by. I hope that video was helpful. If it was, let me know down below what your favorite part was. And if you just had top surgery, I hope you're recovering well. If you're having surgery coming up, I wish you all the best in your surgery, and let me know how it goes down below, what date you're coming up on, and how close you are. Happy healing, love.